It started with them meeting out in Colorado. Dad was laying out trails for Game Fish and Parks, which is now Parks and Recreation Department nationally. And they were both very passionate about the environment. They always have been. It was the hippie generation, but they were not into the typical hippie stuff, but into environmental sustainability way back in the early 70s when they first met. They had a passion to raise a family in a natural environment and decided to look for land. So they were living in Boulder, Colorado, up in the foothills of the Rockies. They found this cheap land in this organic farming magazine. They packed up my older brother and sister in this truck, went cross country, bought 23 acres of land, and set up our home and our family out in the middle of nowhere in Woodstock, Kentucky. Dad he's a landscape architect. He has a lot of skills in construction. He'd done a lot of that in his early 20s. So as he was doing different remodeling jobs and working for people here in Somerset, someone asked him to build a playground for what was then called Porter Hopkins Elementary here in Somerset. So he built that one, he designed it, built it, and then that kind of snowballed from there. That the playground requests kept coming in. So we've got playgrounds back in the early 80s all over Somerset Housing Authority, Burnside Elementary, local counties all around us began asking, so it just kept building on itself. Back then he called it Beach and Sun Design and Construction.
And I didn't know this until a few years after I started working here and got to know Dennis and Rebecca better. Remember going back in my brain as a kid down at the Wayne County Monticello Park. There was a playground down there that I played on. There was this big old boat, a sandbox. It was a sandbox, but a boat. And remember the plaque on the playground was Beach and Sun. Didn't think about it until started talking to Dennis, and that was one of Dennis's first playgrounds that he done. I think it was like the second or third one. So just talking about the history of that, it was kind of cool that as a kid, something that I played on and enjoyed, now I'm helping build and get out to other kids to enjoy.
So I did a lot of the graphic design in my teen years, and then put myself through college doing graphic design and marketing for the company. And I did that for many, many years until a few years ago my parents asked me to move back to Somerset. I had been living away and working remotely for a long time. Asked to move back to Somerset to be the general manager so that they could semi-retire out in California. And so I'm here managing the workings of the company.
We make our own recycled lumber in-house. Saving stuff from going to a landfill. The lumber is all made in-house, 8 different profiles, 4 different colors currently right now. What makes it great, the material that we use, that we purchase from other suppliers, and the material that we make ourselves, it's plastic. It is a lot more friendly than wood. You don't have to go through and treat it. You just have to kind of maintain it and clean it, and it'll take care of itself as long as the customer does their part in upkeeping it. They're going to enjoy this playground for years.
And we were purchasing from outside vendors, and we wanted to be able to do whatever we can in-house. That's a big part of my parents' philosophy, is starting kind of small industries within our industry. So we purchased an extruder and began extruding our own lumber here in-house with recycled materials. Over the years, we've transitioned to being more niche focused on the early childhood sector. We've developed a whole early childhood product line called Nature of Early Play, which has become very popular among child development centers, especially with the Army and the different military branches, that they are renovating all their child development centers, and we are the prime vendor for those contracts. We have it specifically designed for an infant age group of 6 months to 23 months, which very few outdoor playground vendors have lines developed for that age bracket. So we're very popular in that as well, with padded surfaces for infants to actually be outside with the big kids playing. So child development centers, daycare centers, especially like chain, franchise, national daycare facilities really like our equipment.
Adding another 40,000 plus square feet, I can't remember the exact footage, but that's pretty close. That's going to allow us to not trip over our own feet, have more room to maneuver, more room for storage, which is going to allow us to be faster and more efficient at what we do.
We will be the first manufacturer in Kentucky to be powered by solar power once we install these 20 tracking solar panels. They track the sun, so it actually gets more solar energy than a static panel would be.
It is so family-based, but it's just really laid back. Everybody gets along. We all work together as a team. And it's not one of those like, oh, I'm dreading going into work today. Like, I don't ever dread coming to work. It's just fun. It's a fun environment.
And I'm also very proud of just the products themselves. Like, they're very creative, they're very safe, they're environmentally friendly, they are very good for everyone and all the kids that use them. Like, it's just a beautiful thing that we're providing these safe play environments. And I think the thing that really touches my parents' heart with the child development centers on Army bases is that we are providing safe places for these children to play when their parents are often deployed and off defending our country.